Hey guys, and welcome to our review of the new Peugeot 3008. This car was launched at the end of last year in Europe, and since then it's won the European Car of the Year. They seem to love it over there. Here it represents Peugeot's spearhead of their new offensive into our market. They're getting really serious about the Middle East now, and this car is one of the key cornerstones that they're using to sort of make their presence felt here. It makes sense because it is a compact family SUV, but it's coming into a fiercely contested segment, where the likes of the CR-V and the Toyota RAV4 live. So those are stalwarts of that segment, and it's going to go up against them. It's got great looks, it's got great styling. I mean, just look at it. It's got this kind of claw-like, almost Predator type face on it. It's very distinctive. Of course, it's got that Peugeot thing going on, and you'll see at the back it's even like this claws sort of thing in the rear lights. I'll show you that when we get to the back. Now, talking of CR-V and RAV4, unlike those cars, this is not an all-wheel drive car, not a four-wheel drive car. It only comes as front-wheel drive. But it does have a kind of an all-terrain system. They call it all-grip control. But we'll talk about that a little bit more on the move. I can tell you about the engine. This one has a 1.6-litre turbo engine. It gives you 165 brake horsepower and 177 pounds-foot of torque. And you drive the front wheels through a 6-speed automatic, which you can operate through paddle shifts. So it's actually got paddle shifts on this thing. Now, there's 3 trims that you get on this car. Obviously, the base spec, which starts at $89,900, which is $25,000. And incidentally, that's the same base price as the new Honda CR-V. By the way, this is a little bit smaller. It's I would say it's about 10 centimeters shorter than the CR-V. So it's not quite as big, but it's still in that sort of segment. And for the base model, you get you do get alloy wheels. You get 17-inch alloy wheels. You get cruise control, and you get 4 airbags, 6 speakers, and all of the cars, as standard, have a 5-year warranty and 3-year service package. They all come with that. Step up to the next level. The base model was called an Active, and the next level up is called an Allure. And the Allure is 99,900 dirhams, which is about $27,000. For that, you get 18-inch alloy wheels, and you get a panoramic roof like this one has got, with leather and fabric mix upholstery inside. You get sat-nav, you get a rear camera, and you get full climate control. Step up to this model, which is the top of the range car, and this one is 116,000 dirhams, which is $32,000 or thereabouts. This one also has 18-inch alloy wheels. It gets LED lights at the front, including this dotted sequential indicator thing going on here. And as well as that, it gets Nappa leather upholstery. This is packed with kit. Nappa leather upholstery. Front massage seats. Yes, front massage seats, as standard. It has 10 speakers, 6 airbags. It has a fragrance diffuser. You can scent the cabin if you want. You need to get like an S-Class to get that sort of stuff. It's got a wireless phone charger. It's got a 360-degree reversing camera. It's got parking assist, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and braking alert. I mean, it's just packed with kit. I mean, quite frankly, if you're gonna get one of these for 116,000 dirhams, I think this is the one that you should get. So how practical is it? How spacious is it? Well, you know what? Let's take a look. We'll start with, as usual, the boot. So as I was telling you, just check out these 3 LED lights here. They're almost like a claw. They sort of come in like that, and at night they look absolutely fantastic. I love this sort of gloss black panel that they've got across there to connect the 2 lights. It gives it a distinctive personality, and it's got a chrome bar running across the bumper there. You can open the boot, of course, with the key, but I'm going to try using this technique. And there you go. It does work really well. In fact, I would say it works better than most on this car. So the boot itself is quite generously spaced, as you would expect in a car like this. Quite a lot of space. It's got an underfloor area, but it's got a full-size wheel in there, full-size tire in there, with a little box in the middle for the tools and stuff. But there is a little bit of space around it where you could probably stuff some squishy bags. A little tray in there and a little tray in there. It's got a power supply, it's got a light, and it's got these handles here, which if I pull the handle, if you can see, that folds, and it actually does fold essentially pretty much flat there. So that's quite good. And of course, there's a 60-40 split folding. The other one will also fold flat, and it also has a little ski hatch. If you do go to ski Dubai and you have skis, you can put them through there. So pretty spacious, pretty practical. Time to get into the rear. So being shorter, you'd think might be a little bit of an issue getting in, but no, all 6'2" of me, and I'm sitting in behind the seat that is set for me. Of course, the driver's seat is set for me, and I'm fine. Let's get this seat back up again if I can. Yep, there you go. And straight away you can see the Isofix anchor points on this one, but also a tether here for the front seat as well, so you can actually fit one in that front passenger seat as well. Nice stitching, nice pattern here, this sort of trapezoidal shaped motif that they've gotten on, which this actually, if you think about it, is kind of mirrored in the shape of these rear seats here as well. So they've definitely got this theme that runs through the whole thing. Headrests are adjustable back here. We've got reading lights. We've got a major cabin light, but also two individual reading lights here as well. We have, of course, an armrest with two cup holders. There's the ski hatch that you have. A little tray here, I'm not sure what that's for, but certainly two AC vents, which is good. And you have a power supply, but it's like a 3-point power supply. It's not a USB. And you know my bugbear about not having USBs in the back of cars these days. If I can get this camera down there, maybe I can show you what that actually is, because I can't even see it, it's so low. But yeah, it's a 3-point power supply. But otherwise, in terms of space, pretty good. As you can see, I have knee room to spare. Shins as well is fine. Feet could do with a little bit more foot room just there, but you know, just about can get it underneath the front seat, so that's not too bad. Shoulder space is okay. I think you could just about get 3 normal size adults in here without any problems. Certainly if you had 2 kids in here or 3 kids, they'd be very happy. Good headroom. I've got a panoramic sunroof here as well, but still good headroom, and pretty nice really. Time to get in the front and drive it. Okay, here we are. And again, check this out. Actually, let me put the seatbelt on so that I can put the microphone on me so you can hear me a bit better, right? That always helps. Now, one thing I gotta do, check this out. Look at that. Oh, look, there's a Peugeot logo right there. In case you forgot what car you bought, it's a Peugeot. But look at this interior. And the first thing to note is look at the steering wheel. Look at the relationship between me, the steering wheel, and the dashboard. Unusual, right? Let's turn this on. There's a starter button, and let's show you the screens. What happens? That's your standard 8-inch touch capacitive screen there. There's a 12.3-inch screen there, and you're thinking, hang on, is that it? Is that all you get? Nah, hang on. See this controls on the steering wheel here? This one here. If I turn this, that's not the right one. I keep getting these two mixed up. It's this one. All right, this one. Here. If I turn this, look at that. Personal. How cool is that? Can you see that? That's amazing. Let me get a bit closer. But it does this really nice sort of graphic interface. Navigation mode. And then you get this. You know, you can't make out, well actually there's no road, there it is, there's a road there, you see. But it gives you a map. And it gives you a faded map. So it's something that, like, so Audi have been doing this for a while in their virtual cockpit. This is, Peugeot calls this the iCockpit, and it's a similar sort of thing. It's got more modes. So now we're going to driving. Driving basically tells you all the driving aid systems that are working on the car. So a view around the car, and then we can go into dials, which is the one that I normally use, because that one will transmorgify, is that a word? If it isn't, I've just made it up, into 2 dials. Now interestingly, look at the rev counter. It's on the right, and the needle goes the other way. Interesting, huh? But yeah, very flashy. And look how far it is. So they call it a heads-up display. It's not really a heads-up display, because a heads-up display would be literally in your line of sight as you're looking at the road. This isn't. It's where a normal instrument panel would be, but it's set further back. So if you can, I don't know if you can make it out, but the dial is almost here. So again, there's less focusing that you have to do between the road and the dials, which is quite handy. Now the other thing is, of course, about the steering. The steering actually, the top of the steering sits underneath the instrument panel. That is the most intriguing and interesting thing about this car, apart from the fact that the rest of it also looks very concept car-y, including this stuff here. I'll come to that in a minute. In a minute. I keep saying that, don't I? In a minute. And the thing about the steering wheel, all these sports cars, they go, we've got, it's always on the spec sheet, we've got flat bottom steering wheel. This is small. It is a flat bottom steering wheel. The GT line thing is there. That's the trim of the car. But it's also a flat top steering wheel as well. So it's almost like a rectangle steering wheel. Odd, huh? In fact, I think they should just take that out. It'd be like a Knight Rider thing. How cool would that be? Because really you're supposed to hold steerings like this now, aren't you? At 10 to 3 rather than 10 to 2. They might as well just take that out, because the only thing I'm finding is that is just, I can't see the bottom bit here, which really all that is just the kilometers on there. So that's the only thing. It is reach adjustable, height and reach adjustable. Everything in this car is powered. Massage seats, as I've already mentioned. You have paddle shifts on here and a sports mode. I don't know why you'd bother though. I mean, this is just not that sort of car. Just not many buttons down here, but for the boot opening and the lock. You've got a deep door pocket, nice stitching on here. This, what do they call it? Brunio. A Brunio fabric that goes all the way across and into this cavity here and goes across there. Very, very nice, nicely done. I do like this sort of double deck thing here. 8-inch screen just sort of floating. Usual stuff in there, and these satin chrome buttons here, which are toggle buttons. So you, this one is interesting because this one actually alters the ambience of the cabin. So if you click that, you have a relaxing mode, which automatically starts the massage seats, which is quite interesting. Or you have a boost mode, which I guess that makes it a bit more lively. And then you've got your stereo. This does have Apple CarPlay and that sort of stuff, but I haven't been able to get it to work on my phone, which is an iPhone. I don't know why. Might be the cable though, because I don't have a proprietary cable with me. Maybe that's the problem. The USB is down there, if you can make it out, and a 12-volt power supply. And this space here, which is perfect for the phone, is also one of those charging things as well, one of those wireless charging stations. What else have you got here? I'll come back to that in a minute, actually. Let me just finish these. So you got your, that's your stereo, 10 speaker, as I said in there. I think it's about 500 watts. Then your climate control, your sat nav. Okay, that'll come up in a bit. There you go. And this controls your car bit. So again, you can adjust all your things. Now it's got lane assist. I've turned that off because I'll tell you why in a minute. But it's quite aggressive, but it will keep you safe. Your phone and other apps and connectivity and all that sort of stuff, including, as I was saying earlier, iCockpit amplifier, scented air freshener. So yeah, I got Harmony Wood or Cosmic Cure. How cool is that? Is that a Cosmic Girl? It's a bit like that, I don't know. Down here, oh, I can smell it. Oh, lovely. Down here, starter button, hill descent, and this is the all-terrain system. Now, why is it an all-terrain system? It's only a two-wheel drive. It's only a front-wheel drive. What it does, it works through the ESP modes. If I go to the various modes for you there, adaptive drive, mud driving, adaptive drive sand mode. I honestly wouldn't take this in this. I know we're parked on a little bit of sand now, but we're literally in a safe place. This is compacted sand. I would not take this into sand, but it does have sand mode, which basically allows it to make the front wheels slip a bit more so that they can actually gain traction. And with the mud mode, for example, it will just vary the torque between the two wheels to send it to the one with the most. And snow mode, same thing again. So it's actually got those modes. It's got this very interesting shifter, which isn't upright. It's a bit more flaccid, if I can use that word. And it's one of those electronic things, so it doesn't, it rebounds to the same space. That's for the manual, so you press that and you get manual mode. And okay, I'm not in drive, so if I have to press the button, pull it back, and I'm into drive, and then if I press that, it goes into manual. If I press it again, it takes it off. Actually, that goes green, so you know that it's in manual, and then you can use the flappy paddles. And then you got reverse and neutral, and the park is on top down there. 2 cup holders and quite a deep cubby bin that goes all the way down here, so that's quite handy as well. So overall, very, very nice in here. Actually, very nice in here. I think this interior is fantastic. I really like this. I like the seats. I like the way they style. I like the way this whole interior style. It's very futuristic, very sci-fi. It reminds me of sci-fi programs I used to watch. This steering arrangement does take time to get used to. I have gotten used to it, but initially it does take a little while to get used to it. And one of the things they say is that it's less taxing because your arms are lower. They are, technically they are a bit lower, but you know, the amount of, you know, it does take a little bit of getting used to. Oh, I forgot to mention the stock on this side, stock on the side, and over here you have your cruise control pod, a little pod type thing that's actually quite typical of Peugeots. They often have that little pod type thing underneath the steering. So let's go for a drive. Okay, enough chitter chatter. I've spent a bit of time with this car because this is a very important new car for Peugeot, and it's very important in the market segment that it's coming into. And between 89,900 and 116, there we go, full acceleration. 1.6 turbo, 165 brake horsepower, 177 pounds-foot of torque. I don't know the 0 to 100s. If I find out, I'll put it into the comments or in the text, whatever. But it feels quick enough. It feels absolutely fine. It's not a sports car. That's why I don't know why it's got sports mode. I don't know why it's got flappy pedals. I have tried them, and let's try them. I'll put manual, and they do change quite well. Fourth, third, second. Bang. Now let's try cornering. Lot of body roll, lot of float. But then the car is set up for comfort. Having said that, grippy, and fairly neutral turn-in. So actually surprisingly good. And let's just go back into automatic. And I'll put it into sports mode. Hey, what the heck? Let's see. Now I'm onto a little bit of rough patch here, but the ride is very, very, very good. And this is a typical French thing. Peugeot, of course, Peugeot is partner, sister company to Citroën. Citroën, of course, is known for its ride. So the ride, the floatiness means that it's a really, really comfortable and smooth ride. That's what you do get from this car. But the cornering is not bad either. You just have to be mindful of the fact that it is not a sports car, and it is very slippery here because of the sand. But otherwise, the steering response and the steering turn-in is pretty faithful. The steering is light, very, very light, generally quite accurate, not particularly feelsome, but quite responsive. And here we are in a corner now, and it's pretty good, and it hangs on perfectly well, and the corner is fairly neutral. The other thing I was saying about the steering is about the lane keep, which is very effective in this car, but a little bit too effective, because the steering, you're constantly fighting the steering, bouncing between the lanes, because the moment it detects that you're wandering towards the lane, it tugs it back. And you really have to give it some to get across the lane, unless you use the indicator, which is the only way around it, or turning it off from the system. The brakes also very good. Very, very good on this car, and of course the hazards come on this as well. So it's set up really good. It's almost like, if it wasn't a high-sided, smooth riding or soft riding family vehicle, you'd almost feel it has a little bit of the DNA of a hot hatch in it, if you like, but actually quite enjoyable, quite entertaining. So overall then, I think a very good package, I think a very good car. If you need a little bit more room, you're probably going to look at the CR-V. If you need something a little bit cheaper, you'll probably want to check out the Chevrolet Equinox, which also has the driver's aids that this car has got. Both of those cars that I've reviewed recently, and you can find them on our channels. But if you're looking for something a little bit more stylish, a little bit more different, something that feels very special when you get into it, and very futuristic, and something that's a little bit quirky, and it's almost a talking point. This instrument panel and this steering arrangement is a talking point. Whoever gets into this car, the first 20 minutes of the conversation will be around this. That's guaranteed. And like I said, good value. And I will say again, whereas I don't normally say go for the top spec car, but I think if you're spending 99,000 dirhams to go for the mid one, get finance to stretch a bit further and get the full 116 one, because the amount of kit that you get, like I said, it puts an S-Class to shame. It gets tons of stuff. Massage seats, fragrance interior, amazing. This is the one to get, definitely. So there you go. Thumbs up for the car. Do check it out. Do put it on your shortlist. If you buy one, do let us know how you get on. Thanks so much for watching. Please do check us out and follow us. We're on motoringme.com, and you can find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for Motoring Middle East. Same goes for YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow me, Shazad Sheikh, and I'll put up my @ signs here on various channels. That'd be nice. You don't have to, but it'd be nice. I'd like to see you there. And thanks so much for watching. Until the next one.